to Joshua Sika Neti of the NDC Communications team and to Kojo Taliban Osmanu Lai of the NPP Communications team. We continue on, and it is the interview segment. I have with me one very beautiful lady here from the one of the services, the green ones, the green service. The color green seems to be the order of the day today, and we are here to discuss um, MMB, and MMB means Migration Management Bureau. So the Migration Management Bureau and refugees. I've given you enough clues for you to know that we're moving to the immigration sector. So we're going to learn all about refugees, migration, etc., etc. So as I said, it's not just informative; it is educative. Enough of the movies. Today is time to learn something. So stick with me till 10 a.m. right here. I am with DSI, and that's the Deputy Superintendent of my
Immigration.
immigration, Madam Theodora. Please help me with your
Windfall.
windfall, like
WINFO.
winning.
Yes,
Okay, so
windfall.
she's won. So windfall, Madam Theodora Windfall. You are welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
How's your morning?
Ah, by His grace.
Long weekend.
You see, the grace is sufficient. And good morning to your listeners too.
I'll respond for that. Yeah, but we'll be joined later also by ASI Paul Kito.
Yes, Paul Kito. Yeah, you're right.
So he'll join us later on. It's just a few minutes away. But let's look at immigration, and then when it comes to the management, migration management bureau, what is all that about? So when we talk about managing or outside country to country, or we going outside or migration our borders.
The problem that we are in now is about irregular migration.
Irregular migration.
Traveling irregularly.
Okay.
Yes, going without the proper documents. Okay. Traveling outside the country without proper documents. For that reason, the Ghana Immigration Service thought it wise to establish the Migration Management Bureau to educate and then to inform potential travelers on how to travel safely.
Okay. So what we're looking at is traveling from the country into another country, and what should be the proper procedure. Yeah. I know that currently we are having, I think just this, if it's not yesterday, then it was Saturday. I was listening or watching a video of one lady who was lamenting over her ordeal.
Yeah.
She traveled to one country and things she faced.
She went through.
Yes, that wasn't the first one. She was mentioning the names of people who thought should have helped, ambassadors who should have helped, but told her they couldn't help, etc. But then the problem, we should tackle this problem from the root.
Sure.
Yes, to come down to the root, and hence that is why we now have the Migration Management Bureau. So what exactly does the Migration Management Bureau do?
Okay. What we normally do is we give counseling.
All right.
We give counseling to anybody who wants to travel. You can come to our office and then we'll counsel you on how to travel safely.
Okay.
You should get your documents, get your passports, make sure you have the visa to the country you want to visit before you can leave. And then you can read a little about the country that you want to visit before you leave. If you don't have all these informations, you can come to our office and then we'll educate you on that.
All right.
Yes, that is why the Migration Management Bureau was established.
Okay. That is to help people.
To help people who doesn't have the idea to come. When you come, we'll counsel you. You can check through your documents. We have machines to check through your documents and see if everything is genuine before you can embark company. Or
So besides counseling, what else?
we give information, and then sometimes we go out to one-on-one campaigning. We go to the bus terminals, we go to the markets, and then inform people on how to travel safely.
This it looks like I don't know, but are you I don't how do you advertise them? How do we, like now we are
Sure,
here and we're making this, it's free for all that are watching us,
sure,
but how do we, I feel like we need to do more. We need to go out there more, because some people think that traveling outside of the country should be, yes, it is their own personal
sure.
affair, but they want to keep it, to themselves. Before you know it, they are gone. Before you know it, they are outside of the country. And yet, these are some of the things that are creating problems, giving or putting certain people through certain ordeals. So, how do we make this information? Do we put this information out there, especially as a migration
Yes,
management
we're on
team?
social media.
Okay.
We're on social media, and then the campaigning, going out to talk to them. Last week we were at Kandishi Market, the Trotro station, to talk to people.
Oh,
Yes, one-on-one campaigning. We've been
mm,
going to talk to them
okay.
on how to travel safely. And then when you have any problem, you can come to our office. We have our numbers that you can call. We are
All
everywhere,
right.
not only in Accra.
Mm,
We have it in Sunyani, Takrade, Tamale. We
okay.
have it, yes, even Kutuka,
All right.
we
So,
have it.
how long have you been in the system? Has the management
Yes, about since 2007.
since
Yes,
2007?
2007.
Wow, that's
Yes,
about 10 years.
yes, of course,
Hmm.
2007.
That's about 10 years. So, what has been your experience so far in terms of people traveling outside of the country and then facing certain issues? Where do you, or how do you come in?
Yes, that is why we are here. We want to tell them that some of the agents
Mm.
that takes them away, we have the registered ones.
Okay.
We have them.
Okay.
So when you come with Labor Commission, we have it. So when you come and then you bring the agent and the agent is registered, we will check and let you know.
All right. So
Yes,
that's one of the things they should be
of
mindful of.
course,
The agent
the
that is.
agents that's taking them out.
Mm-hmm.
If the agent, if it's a registered company, and then you travel out and there is a problem, it can easily be traced or you can easily be helped out
Mm.
because we have all the agents' documents or
Okay.
certificates.
Mm.
Certificates.
Okay.
But if you travel without those registered agents,
Mm.
you travel out and we don't know anything about their whereabouts, or it's very difficult to help
Yeah.
you out wherever you are.
Okay.
So that's why we are here to advertise and tell them that you come. If anybody wants to help you, you come to our office and let's do the necessary, the background check and see
Okay.
if all is well.
All right.
And
You
then, well,
mentioned about irregular migration. Irregular migration. What is irregular migration?
yes, irregular migration simply means traveling outside your country of origin to your country of destination without having the proper documents or following the rules and regulations of that
That
country.
country.
Yes.
Mm.
So that is what we want to avoid.
Mm. All right. So, in looking at this, I believe that this centers the core mandates. You've already
Sure.
told us that you seek to, provide people with information
Information.
and then counseling as well. Um, to make it more clearer, do you mind highlighting the core mandates of the MMB?
Okay. Yes. Our main core mandate is to inform potential travelers,
From
inform them,
potential
potential
travelers.
travelers, on how to travel safely.
Mm. Okay.
Counseling, we do counseling as well. When you come to our office, we'll counsel you on where you want to go, the necessary documents that you need to travel. We'll let you know.
Okay. So
And then,
looking, okay, go ahead.
and then we go out also.
Thank you.
Yes, we go out and then tell people how to travel safely
Okay.
or the dangers involved in irregular
Mhm.
migration.
Is there any way I was hoping to hear that you perhaps also are able to assist people who may have already gotten themselves in trouble.
Yes,
Do you do
that's
that?
what I said earlier. That
Mm-hmm.
when you were traveling, if you had come to us for us to check the one who took you there
Mm-hmm.
or the procedure that you followed to travel,
Mm-hmm.
if you had come to us to check if it is documented, then we can trace and then help you out.
Okay.
But if you go on your own without any information, it is very difficult. If you are lucky and you are able to go to the embassy, wherever you are, Ghana embassy, and they are able to help you, fine. But if you are not, then it is very difficult for us to know. But if we know the agent or the one who took you there, then from there we can start from there and then help you out wherever you are.
Okay. What are the various sections? You told us that you have counseling, so
Yes,
it means that I'm sure you have
that's the information
another.
side. And
Uh-huh.
then
Which
we
other?
have the refugee,
Refugee.
refugee,
Okay.
refugee side. And then the reintegration, the reintegration,
Reintegration.
integration.
Okay.
And then with the reintegration, when they come and they are frustrated,
Hmm?
when they come, the returnees, when they come and they are frustrated, with the support of IOM and GIZ, they help them, they support them to be reunited to the society. That's what we do. So we have the reintegration section.
Mhm.
The IOM comes in,
Mm.
International Organization of Migration. They come in, and GIZ, they come in to help them, support them to come back to the system,
Okay.
to be
So
united to their family.
okay. So looking at the three things, the three sectors or sections under the MMB: counseling, refugee unit, and then the reintegration.
Reintegration.
Okay, I think we've done a lot so far on the counseling
Yes.
session. So let's move on to the refugee session, the refugee
Yes.
unit. What do they
Right.
do? What are the activities?
Right. What they do is we help the refugee board.
Mm-hmm.
We help refugee board for the refugees who are in to acquire their resident permits. And then we check their background, wherever they are coming from. That's the refugees. If they need to be given permits, work permits, GIS, Ghana Immigration Service, assist in getting resident permits and a work permit as well. That is what we normally do.
We recently heard of the refugee camp at Bujumbura being brought down, out of place. What was your role in that? What role did the MMB?
We normally go there and then we take data of those who can reunite with their family. And then we give them the chance to allow them to go. And then a lot of them have been united with their families now. So we go there, take data, and then know those who are to be reunited and those who are not.
Mm.
So that is the main work that immigration do.
So
Basically, it's on a refugee board.
refugee board.
Yes, they
Okay.
take control of them.
Okay. So when somebody comes in, someone comes with their maybe bag, carrying a baggage. How do we first of all identify the person as a refugee?
You first, as usual, we are the first point of contact. So
Mm-hmm.
when you come, we'll ask you, your passport shows. Are you coming for a visit? If yes, then we'll know where you are coming from.
Mm-hmm.
If you are coming to as a refugee, we'll ask you upon interrogation, we'll know whether you are a refugee or not. If you're a refugee, then we redirect you to refugee board, and then they take up from there.
So, so you just what you do as a refugee unit is to identify who
Identify,
a
of course,
refugee
a
is.
refugee.
Okay.
And then we give them to
Hand
refugee
them
board,
over to
and
the
of
refugee
course.
board. You mentioned earlier that you were going to their sites, like their camps, to
Yes.
register those that are,
Right.
and make sure they are reintegrated.
Yes.
That is to see if they can be
Sure.
reintegrated. So that's what the refugee unit
Right.
does.
Yes.
All right. So we see people have questions about a lot of refugees, whether they are refugees or whether they How they got into the country, we don't know. But we see them on our streets begging for alms. At first, we just assumed they were refugees, but upon careful look and even perhaps maybe investigations by some people, it has come out that it's like a job that they now do. They come into the country, sit on our roadsides, make money out of us, and then go back. Is that what
Well,
your department also?
no, it's very difficult to identify those people because, we are in the ECOWAS states.
Mm-hmm.
And then we know with ECOWAS, with your ID card, you can just enter.
Yeah.
We can't stop you because our people are also there.
Yeah.
So when they come, well, fine, they come as visitors.
Mm-hmm.
They come as they are coming to visit.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time you realize they are on the streets begging.
Okay.
And then I don't think immigration, we cannot, it's a whole lot.
All
In
right.
quotes, it's ECOWAS, so you can't just pull the person, go.
But
There should be an agreement.
yes, can there be a way of making sure that we are not just allowing them also to just come sit on our streets and pose danger, whether to we people, living in the community, or even, I mean, you see a whole family living on the streets, children on the road, etc. Whether they are the ones being knocked down or whatever it is, there is some form of danger that these people on our streets, on our roads cause. Is there anything?
Yes, it's very difficult to answer this question because
Okay.
a lot of agencies stakeholders have to come.
All right.
So
Okay.
the police must come in, and then even the government
Okay.
should come in because it's ECOWAS. When you interview them, they will tell you, I'm from Mali, which is an ECOWAS state. I'm from Senegal, ECOWAS.
Okay.
You can't sack them.
All right.
So
But
the police must come in.
You mentioned earlier about you granting them permits.
When you are coming from the ECOWAS state, you don't need permits
You don't need permits
to enter. You don't need visa to enter. You understand? With
And
your
so-
ID card,
okay.
I can take my ID card right now and then go to Nigeria by road.
Yes.
Same. They also come through the borders, land borders.
Yeah. I get that. I get that
Sure.
completely. But my question is, so even if so I see somebody by the road and I ask you, who are you? Where are you coming from? Can I see an ID? And they show an ECOWAS card or something that shows that they are from the ECOWAS state. Do I leave it there? I mean, as an immigration officer or as an MM, or just because they are by the roadside? I mean, even if they are refugees, there should be a place for them. Do we just leave them by the roadside, or what would be the next step as an MMB? What should be the next step? Do I hand them over perhaps to a particular group, a camp, something?
Well, as you said, when you interview them and then they are coming from the ECOWAS states and then they are refugees, you mean they are refugees? Well, maybe I can direct them to refugee board first.
Okay.
And then they take it up from there. And then on we move. Okay. From there, they can bring them, if they need resident permits or permit to stay, then we also come in, immigration comes in.
Okay. Now, let's come to, we've discussed refugee, talking about how they're coming. So this means that before we can get these people off our streets, as you said, a lot of people, government has to come in, police has to come in, immigration has to come in, all that. So that's more like with our powers combined, then we can move them. So having just one unit here would not be enough to tackle that particular problem. So talking about refugees, if they are from the ECOWAS, they just have to show a card, the ECOWAS card, and then that is it. But if they do not, what happens then?
You allow them. And then most of them, they know. So before they travel, they have their identity card. Like Togo, they have their card showing that they are nationals from Togo. So you allow them in. That's what the law says.
Okay.
Within the ECOWAS countries, you allow them in.
Okay. So let's move on then to reintegration. What would your activities be when it comes to reintegration?
Right. What we do is, we've started. Last week, we went to the airport. There was these Liberians arriving. They were deported. So we went there, and then we were able to gather a few informations from them, what brought them in. So with that, we hand over some of them. We hand over them, those who don't have place to stay, IOM comes in and then GIZ comes in to help them, reintegrate them, support them, and then let them come back to the system. That's what we do. So immigration comes in, we talk to them, and then hand them over to IOM and GIZ. They help them to support them. Sometimes help them with their skills if they can learn a trade.
All right.
To support themselves as they've come.
Okay. All right. So we still have a question or two for you, but I'm told that ASI, yes, Keto has arrived. So we'll go on a very quick break, and then when we come back, we'll have Miss ASI Keto also here. So don't go anywhere. Please stay tuned for more. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240 926 564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
From the dew of heaven and the richness of the earth, may God always give you abundant harvest of grains and bountiful new wine. Genesis chapter 27 verse 28. From the stables of Adwa TV, we present to you The Dew, a television program that would offer you the unique opportunity to receive refreshment from the dew of heaven, with the Reverend Father Benjamin Aite Okai as the host, who is God's own servant with passion to raise people to work and excel in the Lord's vineyard, an Anglican priest who has served as a missionary in both Ghana and Nigeria. He's a teacher and a preacher of the word, and he's also gifted with a ministry of healing and miracles. Tune in every Tuesday at 1 p.m. with your hearts and expectations here on Adwa TV and across all our social media platforms. Be interactive and expect God to do something new in your life. The Dew, it's all about Jesus Christ.
Okay, so welcome back. Welcome back. We've been discussing migration issues with migration, especially you who go and then you go get stranded because you didn't use the right, means of getting outside there, talking about documentation, talking about agents, etc., etc., and then you put yourself through unnecessary frustrations, etc. So we have the Migration Management Bureau of the Ghana Immigration Service. Here, I introduced you earlier, and you've been hearing from DSI Theodora Winful. When I remember your name, winning, winning comes to mind. And we were expecting and have been joined by ASI Paul Kito.
Yes.
Paul is my dad's name, so Kayana.
Nice.
So,
That means I'm your dad.
yes. So Paul, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
So we were looking at what you know, the MMB does. Madam was gracious to tell us that you counsel.
Yes.
You do a lot of counseling, and in fact, because of counseling, you even go out of the offices onto the streets, into our marketplaces, to counsel people, advise people as to, you know, so just to curb irregular migration. As to whether people are listening is another issue.
That's the big question.
Together.
That's the big question. But since we still have to go out and talk to people, yes, we can't say people aren't listening, so we wouldn't go. Because even though we talk to people every day, people are still coming in every day. So you ask yourself, you're talking to people, but people are still going out. And you look at the dates they go. Some went early this year, last year. You're like, why didn't you hear the stories being said? But yeah, it's unfortunate. So we still go around and then speak to people, just like as we are here talking to you, to get all the people out there to listen to us.
All right, all right. She also made mention of something I didn't know. She said that you have actually registered agents as well.
Yes.
So as part of counseling and as part of the advice you give to people, you tell them to come and get them to know or verify the agents that they are working with as well.
Yes. So it's not immigration that has these agents. It's the Labor Department.
Yes, you did mention.
So basically what we do is make sure that whoever you are dealing with is a registered entity, so that whenever there's an issue, we can easily pick it up and know that, okay, Mr. Richard is the board of director here, he's the manager here, so we know where to start from.
Okay, okay. But besides that, is there anything you want to do?
Well, it's, I think my boss has touched on almost all the aspects. So the little I just want to add is, when it comes to moving out, everybody tells you they want to travel these days. It's like it's the norm these days. We're tired of the system. All we're saying is just do the necessary checks. It's no stressful job. People feel, oh, it's a big deal. No, there's no money business here. It's a free service. You come, you walk in, we ask of your mission, what you want to do, why you want to travel. If everything falls into ears, we just allow you and guide you as to how to go about it. But people are fond of, you know, getting to the entrance of the office and then meeting someone and then goes like, oh, I can help you. Yes, yes. So we're just encouraging people to come into the office. Nothing happens there. We're just mere human beings like you and you, just that we're in uniform. So when you come, we sit and then we have a nice conversation like we're having now.
Okay, okay. So this is one of the ways by which you are fighting irregular migration, to fight, you know, for you yourself, because you don't know where you're going to, you don't know what you're going to meet. And the advice is, it takes nothing, perhaps maybe just your transport. And if that is all it will take to curb that frustration you'll be having in somebody else's country where you don't know anybody, then better you walk to them, drive to them, whichever way, get to.
The point is now we've made it so flexible. You don't even need to come to us. We have numbers all over. We're on social media and we're active. So it's an issue of you just getting our numbers. I'm sure I'll put out the numbers before we finish, and then all the social media handles, and then talking to us. You know, these days, you know, even the transportation is not easy. So just calling the office, putting out your complaints, and then you'd get results.
Okay. So she mentioned that your outfit being under the GIS, working hand in hand, like with the Labor Commission, in giving you registered agents as well. Then we dived to the sectors, there's
Okay, the
various
branches in there.
branches under the MMBI. She mentioned we have the counseling unit, which
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
virtually the introduction
Yeah.
of our conversation. Then she talked about the refugee unit
Yeah.
as well. I think the refugee unit, we talked about, if for nothing at all, in clarifying all this, then it means you have two types of refugees: those that are under the ECOWAS and those that are outside the
Okay.
ECOWAS. So for the ECOWAS, they need to just show the ECOWAS card for us to identify them as under ECOWAS. But for the others, you talked about permits.
Okay.
Permits.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, with that, I wouldn't want us to go so much into that because
Alright.
this one is an introduction. Because just by picking refugee units, you realize that you've dropped all the other wonderful units in the office.
Okay.
Exactly. There's data and research.
Oh.
There's Migration Information Bureau.
Okay.
There's the Return and Reintegration Desk.
All right.
There's the Migration Affairs and Research Unit.
Okay.
So all these wonderful units have wonderful things they do.
Okay.
So since the immigration-ADWA relationship has started, I'm sure today's the introduction. So we'll give you a brief of all
everything.
these. Exactly.
Okay.
But
Okay.
moving forward, special people from each of the specific units will be
come
here,
from.
and then we'll
Okay.
pick them topic by topic.
Okay. So then we have touched on counseling, we've touched
Exactly.
on refugee unit, we've
So now we
touched
have
on
the
reintegration
integration.
as well. Okay.
So we have the Migration Information
So
Bureau.
let's do that. Let's
Okay.
come to the migration
Information Bureau.
information. Yes.
So the Migration Information Bureau is the group that goes out and does this wonderful job we are doing. Talking to you people, going to the market, going to the schools, the bus terminals,
Especially.
yes, churches, the mosque. All we need is just,
Also at the airport.
the thing is, we already have officers at the airport that even brief you before you even move out.
Hey, yeah, small day.
It's good you know. You get it? So that's what Migration Information does. We visit churches that invite us and talk to people, and you would be amazed at the feedback. A lot of people act as surprised as you. They don't know a lot of these things, so they want us to come back more and more. So we can maybe use this medium to ask churches, schools, whoever wants us to come talk to them. Just reach out to us. It's a free service. There's no money collection in there. Just come pick us up, we'll educate you, and then we move from there.
All right. With all this being said, you being at the airport, you being at the various entries and exits of the country, what are your activities towards human trafficking within or into the country?
If I get you right, well, you want to know what we do to prevent these kind of things.
If that is also part of.
Yes, we have an ASTIB unit, anti-human trafficking in persons unit.
Okay.
That's also another unit under the Ghana Immigration Service. I'm sure moving forward, we'll get a rep from there to also come and do the talking on the trafficking issues. But I'll just touch briefly on it. You see, most of these problems don't happen on the main entry points and then the airports. No, it happens through the unapproved routes. Let's go through Togo. When we get to Togo, we're going here, here, here. So moving from Ghana, most of them are not aware that, this is what is going to happen. Those who are aware to underestimate the severities of it.
Okay.
You get what I mean? Yeah. So the issue doesn't really have to do with the correct entry points. The problems, Ghana is no world. So today there's a hole here, tomorrow there's a hole here.
All right.
Exactly.
Okay. But now, would you touch on, you mentioned the returns.
Return and reintegration desk.
Returned and I think we've done a lot of them.
Yes, we did. We did.
But any adapts?
To add up to the trafficking,
Yeah.
you know, irregular migration can bring trafficking. If you travel irregularly, you can end up being trafficked.
Yes.
That's why we are here to inform them.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yes,
think the
because
story I
always.
heard this weekend was that she was trafficked in the
Yes.
end as well. Yeah. Okay. So Migration Information Bureau.
Super.
So what is the data? You have any data so far as to when it comes to irregular migration? What is it looking like, especially maybe in the last 2 years? Yeah.
To speak to figures, we can't speak to figures today, and we don't want to put out wrong figures. But as we said, moving forward, a team member from the data desk would be here with his file and then give you the necessary figures. But all we can say is there's a high rise. That's why we've also adopted new strategies of coming out, because it wasn't just working by sitting in the office. So we realized that now we need to move out to the TV stations. And now the wonderful thing we're doing is we're using social media. Since COVID came in, we couldn't do the one-on-ones because I'm sure if I'm coming to your house, you'd want to know whether I'm clean or not. So yeah, so with social media now, we have the Facebook, we have Twitter, we're on Instagram, and we're very active. I insist, very active. So these mediums help us carry our message across. It helps because we get feedback. Each day we're getting minimum of about 20 to 30 calls in the office. Yes, who want to cross-check an agency they're working with, or yes, so the feedback is wonderful. It's wonderful. So we are encouraged to do more. So I'm sure after leaving here, I'll even get more than 50 calls today.
Yes, you will. Madam, let me ask you this last one before we bring out your number and other ways of reaching you. What would be the other channels, any other channels you know that you've involved in reaching out to people, advising? You've mentioned the market, and I was impressed when you said the schools. I was like,
yes, we do secondary schools.
Because those ones are very vulnerable, especially the SHS and the GHS, very vulnerable. Are there any other channels that you are adopting?
As he said earlier on, we are on social media, and then as we've been here, going through the TV stations and then the radio stations to talk to them. It's another form of reaching out to them.
I'm a little concerned about the person living in the rural area who social media is something that is far from reach for them. Internet service.
We have offices there.